Hi and welcome back to the vlog, or should I say welcome to the swatch party, because in this bag I have a lot of yarn that I want to swatch with for my upcoming projects. I've got a lot of things that I want to cast on at the moment, but my needles are not free and I would rather not have too many projects on my needles at the same time. So I thought what I could do to reduce that want is to swatch for upcoming projects, and maybe that way I can wait a bit longer before casting them on. That might backfire on me, but we'll see. So I would like to swatch for two projects tonight. The first one will be the sweater number 15 by My Favorite Things in Knitwear, which if you've seen my winter knitting plans or my Make 9 2026, then you know that I want to cast this project on. So even if I don't cast on right away, it's still a good swatch to have. And this is the yarn that I will be using. So this is Le Petit Lamb's Wool by Biche in the colorway medium blue, which is 100% lamb's wool. This is my first time using it in a sweater project. I'm really excited to try it out. And I'm pairing it with Silk Mohair by Isager in the colorway 44. This yarn was sent to me for a sponsored test knit, but it was the wrong color that they sent me. So they ended up sending me the right color and left me this very kindly. So this is free, but this I paid for, and this is going to be my yarn combination. So let's go ahead and cast on a swatch. So I've done about 11 rounds, but I think it may be too see-through. So I'm gonna still measure the gauge just in case, even though it's only gonna be pre-blocking, but I'm gonna start over in the needle size recommended, because I didn't mention, but I use 5mm needles instead of 4.5mm needles, because that's usually how I reach gauge, because I've got a tight gauge, but I don't love how see-through this is. Like you can see, it's a bit too see-through, so I'm gonna go down. However, this fabric is stunning. It's very, very soft. I really love it. But let's start over. Cold. I'm taking a small break to boil some water to make a tea, so I thought we could do that together. And I thought we could chat whilst it's boiling. You might be able to hear the whistle of the kettle, but let's chat. So I'm really loving the fabric so far of the swatch. I think it's looking much better on the smaller needles, and we'll see if I'm knitting gauge or not post blocking. or if I have to go up a size. Now the thing is, I only have, I think, 6 skeins of the mohair, and I think for the size that I wanted to knit I needed 7, and if I'm going up in size I don't know if I'm gonna run out, but we'll cross that bridge when we get there. I'm really loving swatching. Sometimes it's painful, but I think making this video is also helping me make it a little bit more fun, and also hopefully repress some of the cast on energy that I've got, whilst, you know, satisfying it also, sort of. Let's go make the tea and go back under a blanket on the couch. So my swatch is finished. I am much more pleased with the fabric, and I think I'm definitely going to be off gauge, but I'm going to measure and see what I'm getting. So for the stitches, I did cast on 2 more stitches than I was supposed to, just to do the pattern correctly, and I've got about 8.5 without stretching the fabric by 10 centimeters. So at least on the row gauge for now I'm good. So I sometimes forget to measure the gauge pre-blocking, but it's good to do that, because obviously, especially since this is cable and kind of like ribbing, it's gonna stretch a little bit. Not too much. I don't think. I might gain 1 centimeter. I don't think I'm gonna gain 1.5 centimeters, but we'll see. I will blog this tomorrow, but it's a little bit late. It's almost 10 p.m, but I want to cast on or to swatch for a second project, and that one is going to be a legs pullover v-neck by Ozetta that I want to knit in this beautiful yarn. This is Gilliatt by Rerum Natura in the colorway Tempête, which I don't know how much you can see, but it is like a dark blue. It's not quite navy blue. I would say it's a dark jeans blue, if that makes sense, like a dark denim, which I'm very excited to cast on or to knit. I have used this yarn before for my partner and I fell in love with this yarn, so I really wanted a project for myself in that yarn. So I am going to cast on. The gauge for this one is 17 stitches for 26 rows on 5.5mm needles. I think I'm going to cast on, and I do say cast on because I think I'm going to cast on one of the saddle shoulders as the swatch. So I think I'm going to cast on the recommended needle size, but doing a size medium, which I would be between a size small and medium, I think. It's supposed to be between 25 to 27, and yeah, size medium would give me that. Maybe I need to size up even to a size large, but I think, yeah, for the saddle shoulder, it's the same number of stitches, and then it's just a matter of the rows. So I'm just gonna not even finish the full saddle shoulder, obviously. I'm just gonna knit it to the recommended rows, and then I'll block it, and if it's good, I'll continue the saddle shoulder, and if it's not, I'll start over. And the reason why I don't want to go up in needle size for this one, which would be 6mm, is because I used this exact yarn as I said before. I used the 5mm needles. I think I swatched with 5.5 and I didn't love the fabric, so even now I think the fabric won't be exactly what I want, but going up even more, I don't think that will be correct. So I'm gonna use 5.5 and we'll see what that gets me. So I haven't chatted last night nor this morning, but I did finish the swatch for, or like the saddle shoulder for the legs pullover, and I swatched for the zipper sweater light man by PetiteKnit this morning. So let's talk about it. This is my swatch from last night for the sweater number 15. I haven't blocked this yet, obviously. Then last night I did the legs pullover v-neck. And as you saw, I realized that I was actually pretty much on gauge, but I had started casting on the saddle shoulder for the size large, and if I'm on gauge, that's going to be too big for me. That's not the amount of positives that I want. So I frogged and I swatched, or I cast on the size medium, and I think I'm still pretty much on gauge. I think once I block it, it'll be better. I think I'm like half a centimeter off or something, but it's looking really good, and you can hopefully see the color a little bit better. It's definitely almost like a gray. I mean, I think in the viewfinder you can see it's a little bit more of a gray, dark navy, but yeah, it's still definitely blue. Anyways, so I've got two, and I did put my stitches on the hold, obviously, because I didn't do the whole saddle shoulder. I just did the number of rows that I'm supposed to have, which I think I'm a little bit over. I think I've got 1 centimeter more in the row gauge, so I'll have to figure out if I'm going to shorten the saddle part, because she does mention centimeters, so I might just do the amount of centimeters mentioned instead of the amount of rows mentioned. Anyways, that's beside the point. And this morning I swatched, I'm in love with this, I swatched for the zipper sweater light man by PetiteKnit, because that's the pattern that I've got. I did that pattern last year for my partner, and I just don't want to buy the light woman version because I've heard there's not that much change, so I'm just gonna use the pattern that I've got. And I swatched with a lovely combination of yarn. I'm absolutely obsessed with this. I am gonna be using one yarn that I've had in my stash for over a year, if not 2, which is the Fiber Company Cumbria Fingering in the colorway Blend Cathra, which is a really pretty grey beige, and I really wanted to keep this color, but when I thought about buying a mohair to go with it, I was thinking of the Biche mohair, which I think they have one of those that kind of colorway. But I ended up deciding that because I loved this sweater so much, which uses a Suri lace, I really wanted to use a Suri lace for this pattern in particular, because I think it's going to be a pattern that I'm going to wear mostly like in the morning when it's cold, at night, just to be really cozy. And so I wanted it to be quite fluffy, and I decided to go with the Sunday Fiber Company Suri lace in her latest collection, which is the 70s issue. This is just an undyed yarn. It's the Natural Wonder colorway, and I decided to pair these together. And obviously you can see there's quite a lot of contrast between the two, because this is really a white, but I love the colors that it's giving and the fabric, and I just think it's absolutely perfect. There's definitely a bit of a marl, but you can still see this grey beige colorway. It's just got a little bit of white speckled through, and I think this is gonna be stunning. So I'm really happy with this, and I'm on gauge on 4.5mm needles, and I think the pattern is supposed to be knit on 4, if I'm not wrong. So this is obviously pre-blocking all of these. I haven't blocked them yet. I still want to swatch for 2 other projects if I have time today, at least one. We'll see if I have time for the final one, the 5th one, because I do have to film a video for my Make 9s, which I guess you've already seen by now. But yeah, look at that. I love this. To be honest, this is not really reducing my want of casting all of these on, especially the Zipper Sweater Light, but in a way it's good because I've cast on my Dagmar sweater, which is an all-over cable sweater, and in my winter plans I mentioned that the other project I had for that season that I hadn't cast on yet was the sweater number 15. But this is another cable sweater now. It's a little bit more mindless of a cable sweater to knit on, but I think I would like to have a simple stockinette project whilst I've got my Dagmar sweater on the needles. So I was thinking either one of these, and maybe you guys can pitch in and let me know which one I should cast on first. Right now I'm leaning towards this one because I just love the fabric and the color so much, and it's just a simple raglan. It's going to be pretty mindless. I'm loving that, but then I think this is a little bit of a thicker gauge, so it would make sense to cast it on in the winter to be able to wear it like at the end of the winter, early spring maybe, but I don't know. I'm gonna now talk to you about the next pattern that I want to swatch for, which I'm not gonna get around to casting on anytime soon, to be honest. I think this is gonna be like a late spring knit, if not summer knit, but I do still want to swatch for it. I'm gonna be using, and I don't have full skeins for this, so apologies, but I'm gonna be using Gynt in the colorway 1002, and I'm gonna pair it with Alpaca one by Isager in the colorway E0, I think. I've had the Alpaca one in my stash for ages, and I don't love it because it's not because I don't love it. It's really soft. I think it's perfect. It's just very thin compared to a mohair. I find it's a bit thinner, but I've had it in my stash for ages. I've got quite a lot of it, so I want to use it. And I've got the Tempête, which is leftover. Like, I had bought a whole quantity for a long cardigan, so I've got basically 2 sweater quantities in one. I used half for my porcelain sweater, and I think I've got enough for another sweater, and so I want to pair these together. I might have to hold the lace double, so I'm gonna swatch for just the Tempête and the lace, but I know the Tempête blooms quite a lot in blocking, so what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna do that swatch for today, and I'm gonna see it post blocking, and in another time I might have to swatch with the lace double to see, you know, depending on that swatch, how it turns out, if I like that fabric better. And I don't think I mentioned the pattern, but I want to swatch for the Marielle Blouse by Mariasverden. I absolutely adore this pattern. I think it's so stunning. I think for a spring summer garment it's going to be perfect, even though it's going to be, you know, DK weight. I think the Alpaca one, even though it's 100% alpaca, I know it can be quite warm, but I think this combination is going to be perfect for that spring summer piece. And I love the lace pattern. I don't have a sweater with a lace pattern yet. I've done the Marielle scarf, so I've already done a little bit of lace in that, and I really enjoyed knitting that lace. And I'm sorry, but Merlin is so cute. He's sitting on the piano, like kind of falling asleep. I'll take a pic afterwards, but he's so cute. And yeah, so let's go swatch for this before I talk your ear off. Okay, I think I'm actually going to not make another swatch today. I'm getting pretty tired and I also can't really think of another angle to make for showing you how I swatch. But I finished the Marielle Blouse swatch. Now you can see the texture is a little bit wonky. That's because one of the strands, the Tempête Gynt that I use, was a frog yarn, and so it was a little bit noodly, but I know it blooms quite well. But I'm definitely not on gauge pre-blocking. I think I'm getting 8 centimeters instead of 10. Raw gauge, I'm good though. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna block all of these. They're looking so cute. So I'm gonna be blocking them and I will see how they are post-blocking. I don't think I'm going to chat to you again though, and for this one in particular I might do another swatch later with 2 strands of the lace, and I might go up needle size. We'll see how it looks post-blocking. I am really happy that I did all of these. I think they look stunning. I'm especially excited for these two, especially because I'm kind of on gauge. So that's exciting. And yeah, thank you so much for watching this vlog. I hope you enjoyed. I hope it was interesting enough to watch. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.